So we're going to do a 1 hour emergency NIT pre-show preview. So we're really excited to bring this NIT preview to you today.
Yeah, Royce, 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 yeah, Royce. Okay, step into the mind of a young boy genius, telling you what's going on in stadiums and arenas. We talking the NFL, we talking the NBA, we talking about the biggest sports news of the day. Got a favorite athlete, a team that you're thinking. Well, let's put it to the test and see where Royce ranks them. And listen, man, I could go on and on, but let's get into it, featuring his co-host Dom. Sit back, relax, and welcome to the pod, and let me introduce everybody to Royce's thoughts. I said sit back, relax, and welcome to the pod, and let me introduce everybody to Royce's thoughts.
All right. It's that time of the week again where we record a podcast called
Royce's Thoughts.
Moving
with Mardis.
Now listen, today it is Sunday, March 12th. And what is Sunday, March 12th? Well, what is happening on this Sunday, March 12th?
The Oscars.
The Oscars are happening. They are. Not really a sports-related show. What about, is there anything else sports-related that might be happening on this?
The NIT bracket.
The NIT bracket is released at 10 p.m. So we're doing an emergency podcast so we can cover, we're doing a 1 hour pre-show because it's 9:08 right now, Eastern time.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a 1 hour emergency NIT pre-show preview. So we're really excited to bring this NIT preview to you today.
Also, like the March Madness, the actual bracket, the NCAA tourney, it was also released.
The women's, you mean the women's bracket?
The women's bracket.
Yeah, the women's bracket was released on ESPN at 8 today. So that was also a huge. I mean, it's just a lot of NIT women's, and then I think the CBI will be coming out after that around like 11 o'clock or something tonight.
Yeah.
So I mean, dude, just all in. And then there's this other little tournament that happens.
The other one.
The other one where they just crown a national champion in college basketball. No big deal. No big deal. Just gonna dominate the airways on CBS for
ever.
3 weekends. So listen, it's kind of cool how this worked out. So we didn't record during the regular week. We knew it. We actually kind of planned it where we were going to record tonight to do a bracket, basically breakdown. We actually could talk about NIT. There is some actual NIT news that already happened. Did you see that? What was that? You want to tell the people?
North Carolina is not in the NIT.
North Carolina declined an NIT bid, which is interesting. I didn't think you could do that. I mean, I know you can, but like, it's interesting that they press release and everything. They were like, nope, we ain't make the big one. We ain't doing it. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, I don't think I did what I normally do. So Dom, sitting across from the namesake himself. Did I do that? I don't think we did that.
I have no clue.
I don't think we did that. So I'm Dom. You're
Royce.
For the people who are listening. And we've already said it. Sunday, March 12th. It's bracket release day. Selection Sunday. That's the word that I was looking for that I could not figure out. So here, we'll talk basketball first. That's the hot topic. If there's some other news, there is some. The NFL has a way of always trying to steal a headline. No matter what is going on in the world, the NFL is like, look, bro, I got a headline for you. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out here. Boom. Here's my headline. We'll talk about that in a little bit too, or later. So without further ado, where do you want to start?
I don't care.
So, I mean, here's the thing. We can start with, we have the bracket. I printed it out for us. Old school style. I'm stuck. And let's just do it. Let's just start with the South. The number one overall seed this year is
Alabama.
Now, there's some fun stuff happening here. So, listen, in my previous life, I used to work in sports, okay? I worked for the University of Louisville. I would run men's basketball games and women's basketball, any sports I would run it, but men's basketball and football were my primary sports, which also meant that I got a really good opportunity to run some NCAA games while we were hosting them. Well, I still got some connections. I was reached out to, and your boy is going to be in Birmingham this week running the first and second round games for that region or for that pod. And I get to see this Alabama team in person, like front row, courtside. Like I am at the press table, reach out and touch the players. I'm really excited for this Alabama team because I think they could win it all.
That's great.
What's your give me your first initial thoughts of the South bracket?
I think Alabama's gonna win the whole thing, but I don't. There's not many. Arizona. I don't think. This is the good corner.
You don't think so? You're saying like Alabama got the number 1 seed and they're good. I mean, so the 2 in this region is Arizona,
Yeah.
who they just upset UCLA on a last second shot to win the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Your 3 is Baylor. Does Baylor scare you at all?
No.
Your 4 is Virginia. Here's the thing about Virginia. Virginia is still Virginia. They play Virginia basketball. It's hard for people to get used to Virginia basketball. So sometimes they might have a chance to, sneak out a win here or there. But I'm tending to agree with you, right? None of those teams, if I were to say Arizona, Baylor, or Virginia, you're not really afraid of those teams.
No.
Okay. So the 5 is San Diego State.
Yeah.
6 is Creighton. 7, Missouri. 8, Maryland. 9, West Virginia. 10, Utah State. Ooh, I'm seeing what you're saying. 11, NC State. The NC State Creighton matchup, 6-11. Could that be an upset?
I think it could, but I don't. I personally do not think so.
Okay. So, I mean, are you saying like this? Is this a straight chalk region? Or are you just saying it doesn't matter because Alabama's coming out?
I don't think it's like it's awful, but I don't think it's great.
Okay. So if you had to pick one upset, I mean, there's always an upset, right? Like there could be 1, 2, 3, 4 that make it to the, Elite 8, or to the Sweet 16. But what's your upset?
Charleston over San Diego State.
Okay. For those of you all who can't see, well, it doesn't matter. You can't even see our dog. Well, our dog is sitting down here, and I'm pretty sure she just got something because she's chewing on it. And there's no dog bones down here, so I'm debating whether I should get up and look. It is what it is. It's fine. All right. So, okay. So South, you're not impressed with the South?
Nope.
All right. Well, I was going to say there are the first 4 games, but can I be 100% honest with you? Yep. I do not believe that they should make the 16 seeds play in the first 4. I think it should be all 11 seeds or all 12 seeds or whatever it is. But I don't feel that if you win your conference tournament that you should be subjected to a first 4.
Yeah.
I think you should actually get the full on bracket experience. Okay, that's just it. All right, so then fine. Let's move to the East. So we'll stick on this half of the bracket, and we'll move to the East. So the number 1 is who?
Purdue.
Were you surprised that they got a number 1?
No.
Okay, I didn't either, but there were some people that were really campaigning over who were they campaigning for?
Arizona, Texas,
because the Big 12 was so on paper strong this year. So, okay, Purdue's number 1. Number 2,
Marquette.
3 is K-State.
Kansas State.
The 4.
I just Tennessee.
So of those top 4, how strong you think that is?
I think it's okay. Of those 4,
What about the 5 in this one?
5 Duke. I'd watch out. I'd watch out for the 6 too.
Who's the 6?
Kentucky.
So let's just keep going. 7, Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
8 is conference champion Memphis, excuse me. And then you got Florida Atlantic. Let's see. Anybody else? The 11, the Providence, Oral Roberts. And then you get down to the 13, which is Louisiana. Montana State, 14, Vermont, and Texas Southern or FDU. Okay, so Fairleigh Dickinson for that, for the FDUers out there. How do you feel about this bracket? I got some thoughts on this one, but I want to hear yours too.
I think this one's pretty good.
Would you consider this the bracket of death?
I think I would.
I know what the internet is calling the bracket of death, but I think this is a tough bracket.
I haven't really gotten to look at the other brackets yet.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll say
but
we'll
this one's
reserve.
pretty good. This one's pretty good. Because you got Purdue. Obviously, they're the 1 seed. You got Marquette. And I think like teams like Florida Atlantic, I think you got to watch out for them. Oral Roberts, Providence. I think there are a lot of good teams here.
I feel that Duke is highly underrated on this bracket.
Yeah, and Duke.
And I'm confused because they're 26-8. And if you look at Tennessee, who's 23-10, or you even look at a Kansas State who's 23-9, I understand that they played in better conferences on paper. Again, this is where it always comes down to the bet on paper, right? We will know in literally 2 weeks what conferences are actually okay. But it seems like every year there's the conference that gets 452 teams in, and 450 of them lose in the first or second round.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that happens, if that holds serve, because Duke to me is the sleeper here. I would be very concerned if I'm Purdue.
I think, I would too. But like, I think of the couple of matchups that Duke might have, if they face off against Purdue, I think that's going to be a tough one. But like, maybe that one, and if they go all the way, I think their toughest matchup other than Purdue would be Oral Roberts in the first round.
Really? Tennessee's an interesting one for me on this one because like Tennessee has had the point where they've beaten good teams, like throttled some teams, but then they've lost some too. So like I don't want to call them your typical 4 seed, like, but it's just weird. I've also on the bottom half, right? So you have a team like K-State who's beaten Kansas. They play tough with everybody else, but they may not make it past Kentucky or Providence. I'm just assuming they get through Montana State. This bracket right here, I haven't filled out one yet on purpose because I wanted to do the show without. I don't know. I will say this: Purdue, for me, I think that they are built to win a national championship. With Edey in the middle, it's hard to guard that. And when you just need a bucket, when you can just dump it down and go to them, it kind of feels like it's going to take, like, I feel like the longer Purdue's in the tournament, the greater their, and it's going to sound really weird, the greater their chances are to win that championship. Of course, right? Because you go down. But I really do believe that Purdue's the type of team that could lose to a Memphis or a Florida Atlantic in the second round. But if they can get to the Elite Eight, the Final Four, I feel like they'll play more comfortable.
Yeah.
It's like Penn State today. Penn State, they should have easily beat Penn State. Penn State came back for 17 down, 6 minutes to go, and had a chance and probably should have at least tied the game. If not, maybe won it. So, okay. All right, so let's move over to the Midwest. How are we feeling about the Midwest? Up top. Top right.
Got Houston, Texas, Xavier, Indiana, Miami, Iowa State, I'm getting lost.
Texas A&M 7,
Iowa, Auburn,
8,
Penn
9 right
State,
there. Penn State
Mississippi State
10,
or Pitt,
11.
Drake,
They're the 12.
Kent State,
They're 13.
Kennesaw State, Colgate,
14,
and Northern
15,
Kentucky.
16. Okay, so again, in other cool little things, I get to see 2 number 1 seeds in person. This is that whole regional geographical potting system that they do now. So, because before, what would have happened is both the teams, like the 1, 4, like basically the 1 and 4. So Birmingham and Albany right there, that both would have been in Birmingham. Wouldn't have mattered, whatever. Now they, get to do this whole regional thing. So I'm kind of excited for this. I get to watch Houston, get to watch Alabama. We'll see how that goes. Last time I saw Houston in person, it was in the Final Four 2 years ago. So we'll see how that rolls out for them. That being said, this bracket, how you feeling about it?
I think it's very, very top heavy. Houston, Texas, and then Indiana, maybe Miami. But then other than that, I'm not. It's just okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to say this. This is going to sound really bad because Houston has proven themselves as a 1 seed. They've been in the tournament and they make long runs. It's still just hard for me to see Houston's name and be afraid of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Houston's fault. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be. I'm just saying it's hard for me to see that. It doesn't help that they lost today. But I'm just saying. So if I am Iowa, Auburn, I feel good about an upset chance on round 2, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. IU is an interesting one for me. They have a lot of losses. But didn't they beat Purdue twice?
Yeah.
So, like, they can get up. So it's like if you can get past Kent State and Iowa State, then I really feel like their chances to advance to a Elite 8 is really good. Like, I feel like they could actually knock off Houston and then turn around and lose to the Cinderella Penn State team. So, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love Texas. I'm just going to be honest with you. I know they drilled Kansas, but I don't love Kansas. I don't love Texas. And kind of same for me with Texas A&M. There's just a lot of teams here that I wouldn't be surprised if they won, but I'm also not surprised if they lost. This will be the one to me where there could be an 11 seed, a 12 seed, a 13 seed make it to the Elite 8 game.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe no even top 3, 4 seeds even make it. Yeah. All right, so let's go down to the West.
Oh no.
Well, you should maybe start by telling the people who.
All right, we got Kansas, UCLA, Gonzaga, UConn, St. Mary's, TCU, Northwestern, Arkansas, Illinois, Boise State, Arizona State or Nevada, VCU, Iona, Grand Canyon, UNC Asheville, and Howard.
Okay. So the 1 seed, like you said, is Kansas, the 2, UCLA, the 3, Gonzaga, and the 4 is UConn. Now, the internets, them peoples is calling this the brackets of death.
Mm-hmm. I can see that.
I mean, Kansas really didn't get sent no real favors here.
No.
So Gonzaga, are they the same team that we should be worried about?
I don't think so.
It kind of feels like the lower they drop, the more dangerous they are.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they made a national championship game twice as the 1 seed or once and then Final Four before, right? Or something. I can't forget. But with Tim A, like, they're good. And you might get that Gonzaga UCLA rematch.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did Gonzaga win a national championship? No. Who won that year?
Baylor.
Baylor did. Yeah, Baylor beat Gonzaga, right?
Mhm.
Yes, because it was UCLA, Gonzaga in the championship. Or
Yeah.
in that
It was UCLA and Gonzaga.
and they
and
went to
then
overtime.
Suggs half court.
Yes.
And then it was
Yes.
Houston and Baylor in the other one.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. That was a great game.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a great game. Okay, Kansas. How do we feel about them being able to get past UConn if they make it there?
I think they can get past UConn.
Do they make it to UConn? That would be the Sweet 16.
I think yeah.
I'm concerned about Kansas.
I am too.
Bill Self apparently had a heart attack. So
I didn't know that.
I hope he has, he's recovered. He's been released, and he's said that he's coaching in the tournament. But they also weren't looking great. Like, they weren't looking unbeatable like they were earlier in the year.
Yeah.
So I think they clear Arkansas, Illinois, but that's a tough draw for 8-9. Both of those teams, real athletic, long, run the ball, push the pace, especially Arkansas. So I don't know. This one, like, this is going to sound really weird. Everybody's talking about Gonzaga, UCLA. TCU, to me, is the team to beat here.
I was not expecting that.
I know. Who's the player for TCU that was hurt most of the year? Now he's back, and they're just a different team with him on the floor.
I don't know.
He can take over a game. I like matchups like that for like NCAA because you just need a dude to get hot, right? That guy who goes off for 30 in that game. It's like the Steph Curry year with Davidson. I'm not picking him. I'm not picking him to win the national championship.
Yeah.
All right, give me a second. In the meantime, you could go ahead and give me any more sleeper picks on this one.
I'm gonna go. So the first in the South, I put my sleeper pick was Charleston over San Diego State. And I didn't give one in any other one, so I'm just gonna go back. In the East, I'm gonna go. I think Oral Roberts can beat Duke. I think they can, but I'm gonna go Providence over Kentucky.
Okay.
6-11, and then in the Midwest, I'm gonna go Kennesaw State over Xavier. That's what I'm gonna go. And then here I'm gonna go Grand Canyon over Gonzaga.
Grand Canyon. Okay. I like that pick. Mike Miles Jr., by the way. That's a guy from TCU. So let's just go ahead and do it. I like those. I like all that. Did of the ones that you just gave me, because I was looking that up, did you give me do you have any team winning their first round game from the first four?
No.
So,
but I think they can. Like at Pitt and Mississippi State, I think they can beat Iowa State, but that's not one of the ones I gave.
Gotcha. I typically our first four team advances to the second round. So I don't think this is a year where we're going to see a one upset or 16 over a one. It's only happened once. So let's just put that there. But I will say, I think like I probably would pick Iowa State too. Although TCU, who knows? I don't know anything about Arizona State or Nevada. So that doesn't help. Okay. So other than that, give me your final four.
Final four? All right. I got Alabama, Purdue, UCLA, and Indiana.
Alabama, Purdue, UCLA, and Alabama. I mean, in Indiana. Okay. So you got 2 1s, a 2, and a 4.
Yep.
Okay. Now, earlier, before the bracket came out, you had said your final four was going to be Purdue, Duke, Indiana, and
UCLA.
UCLA.
That was before the bracket came out.
No, it was before, right? I mean, right now it cannot be Purdue or Duke, right?
Mhm.
It has to be. Sorry, it can't be Purdue and Duke. It has to be one or the other. So, why did you now choose Purdue over Duke?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
I just did.
So, if that's the case, that would be number 1 Alabama versus number 4 Purdue. Who would win that game?
Alabama and Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama.
And then you have Indiana versus number 4 Indiana versus number 2. Y'all in there, UCLA.
I don't know. I think that's tough. I'm gonna go Indiana.
IU versus Alabama championship. Who we got?
Alabama.
Okay. Now that is I did not expect you to pick Indiana after seeing the bracket. I don't know why that would make me change. Why I thought you would change your pick, because I do believe that Alabama can easily, or Indiana can easily come out of this Midwest.
It was between Indiana and Houston, and that's it.
I like the UCLA team too. They got experience. They've been there before. This bracket isn't that tough for them. They're out west. They're in the West, so they won't travel a ton. So I'm not hating that pick. Just being honest with you. All right. So here's the thing. If I have to give my Final Four, I'm gonna go. I think Alabama for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Duke. They are playing the best basketball right now that I've seen. That doesn't mean anything, but
yeah.
I'm gonna go Duke, and I still think Coach K is like secretly coaching. Like, he's not the coach, but I think he's like right there. So he's not letting John Shire, like, you know. And hey,
Yeah.
first year head coaches in the Final Four has been a thing lately. So I'm not saying they're my national championship. I'm just saying they're my national champion. In the bottom, here's the thing. I don't love anybody, but I would probably go UCLA as well. But I'm gonna go UCLA, and then up top, I do not know. So since you're gonna force me to choose anybody, and you're not actually forcing me, I'm forcing me to choose somebody. This is gonna be the one where I'm gonna say it's gonna be like a sleeper pick, and I'm going to go with, man, I wish I knew more about Iowa State.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they could be that team.
See, me personally, I don't think that.
I'm just saying my sleeper. Like,
I think Mississippi State could beat Iowa State. And then I think Mississippi State could go to the Elite Eight. If I had to pick a sleeper team out of this one, I would pick Mississippi State.
You pick Mississippi State?
I would, but it's not up to me.
Man, what I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm just go Houston.
All that for nothing.
When you do all that, just go Houston. Because, I mean, it's statistically better, but watch it be like Texas A&M. Just watch it be somebody like that to get back to. But I will say this. I think you can't discredit where the Final Four is and the motivation that has. The Final Four is in Houston. And if Houston makes the Final Four in Houston, do you know how crazy that would be?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then I think Houston will beat UCLA with the game on the line. And it'll be Alabama over Duke. And you'll have a Alabama-Houston national championship game where I still think Alabama will win. Because I think Brandon Miller will go off for like 37. He's Darius Miller? Brandon Miller. Brandon Miller. He's so good. So good at basketball. It would be ironic if Alabama won that championship this year. That's all I'll say. Okay, so I like that. This has been a good little recap of our our stuff for the merger pod situation, let's do this. Let's first thank our title sponsor because it's been a minute since we done that. Sean Mardis is and his team at Moving with Mardis sponsor our podcast because there's never been a better time to buy, sell, or invest in real estate. And if you needed somebody to do that, you should give Mardis and his friends a call. I was about to say Mardis and Company, but that's just not it. Sean and his team over at Moving with Mardis. And Mardis is Mardis. And you can just say, literally type in movingwithmardis.com and it'll get you everything you need to know. Here's the other thing. If you're in the Southern Indiana area and you're in a restaurant, look at the little advertising boards because you'll see Sean's photo, like his head, and he's got like all these random like eye-catching advertisements that are up there. It's really funny. I've seen him at like 3 or 4 different restaurants lately. Maybe that says something about me. I need to stop eating out, but I'm just saying, great people, great team, great service, and we appreciate everything that Sean's doing and what continues to do for this podcast. And with that, I have a question. Let's just say the bracket. Okay. So we went through your high power picks, all those things. But you know it's not going to work out that way. It might. I mean, your Final Four could still work out that way. Who is the team, right? I'm just talking about like the team that's going to lose this weekend or this week.
Like just any team here.
Well, like a
of the
good
top.
Yeah, like somebody in the top 16 lines, right? So like that means one of the 4 seeds, somebody's going down in the first round.
That's Gonzaga.
Oh, you did say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But if not Gonzaga, I would say Xavier.
Okay. I'm going Princeton over Arizona. I'm going 15-2.
Okay.
I don't know why I don't love this Arizona team. They might come out and curb stomp them, like just by 70. But the Ivy League boys usually play well because they play a different brand of basketball up there. It's like the YMCA basketball. Like they do all the stuff perfect. And Arizona, it's a Pac-12 disrespect. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's Pac-12 disrespect. So I'm going Princeton. That's my super upset, super dog alert. Okay. With that, let's talk about the news in the NFL real quick. Today, well, since we last recorded, did we talk about? We didn't talk about Lamar Jackson getting franchised, right?
No.
Or all the other free agent acquisitions and the people who got stupid money, the quarterbacks, Daniel Jones, all them people getting paid. We didn't talk about Aaron Rodgers basically deciding now it's up to him. If he wants to go to Jets, he can go. If he wants to stay in Green Bay, he can go, or he can just go home, take his ball and go home. But the Dolphins made a play today. Would you like to tell everybody what happened?
The Dolphins traded for Jalen Ramsey.
And they basically sent
a 3rd round pick.
Yeah, a bag of peanuts to the Rams.
Yeah.
Like, I know the Rams need to clear the cap space. I get it. That's all he's worth.
And I think like a tight end or something.
Yeah. Again, that's all he's worth. It's like the Amari Cooper trade. Like where they got a 7th round pick for him or something like that. Like, what are y'all doing? Oh, I don't know. It's funny though, because everybody was like, it actually doesn't move the odds at all. Like the odds for Miami to win the Super Bowl are basically the same as it was before they traded for Jalen Ramsey, but it does make it a little scary back there. And where did he play college?
Florida State.
Yeah, he's back in his home state. So.
And then he started off in Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Won a chip, and he's back.
Yes.
All right. I mean, tell me, where's Lamar Jackson? Is he a Raven? Will he play football next year?
I think he's just going to play with the Ravens.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. That's so funny. Who is this? Oh yeah, he's hilarious. So will he get paid to play for the Ravens, or you think they're going to? Everybody in the whole world has been surprised that the league, that no one's come out and offered Lamar Jackson a contract yet. There's two trains of thoughts here. One, that Lamar's being greedy, and because he's been difficult to work with, that's why he isn't getting much more love than he has. The other train of thought is that why would the Ravens sign, or why would anybody go out of their way to give him a contract when they know the Ravens will just match it?
Yeah.
I tend to think that I want to go with the more there's collusion, which is like technically the third train of thought. That there's like all the owners came out and like they're like, hey, you don't sign Lamar because we're not going to do this guaranteed thing. If we all stick together, the players don't win. That's kind of the way it feels like for me. But at the end of the day, I don't know that if no other team comes out and offers Lamar a contract, I don't think the Ravens are going to offer him a contract, a long-term contract. I think they'll say, well, we called your bluff. Nobody wants you. You play for us under this franchise tag. Take your 32, and we'll talk about this next year. 32 mil, by the way. I think if that happens, Lamar doesn't play a game.
I think he'll play.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, $32 million is nothing to scoff at. Flat out. All right, so let's talk about then you know what I forgot to do? To get your pick'ems. So while I do that, let's pay off our other sponsor, Jerry and Miss MR DetailWorx. All right, so last time we were here, so March 1st was our last time we recorded, right? Your games were Alabama versus Texas A&M, Kansas versus Texas, Miami versus Pitt, Arizona versus UCLA, Michigan versus Indiana. Alabama versus Texas A&M. You said I'm going to go with Alabama. Texas A&M won that game. Kansas versus Texas. You went with Kansas. And Texas won that game. Miami versus Pitt. You said Miami. Miami won. Arizona versus UCLA. You chose Arizona. Drum roll, please, because this is for your 3 of 5. Arizona won. Just kidding. UCLA won. So you were 2 for 2 because you got Michigan, Indiana State. You waffled. Remember, you chose Michigan, and then you went back to IU, and then you went Michigan, and you came back to IU. IU won the game. That was the last, I think that game was the last second shot or something like that. So you were 2 for 3. It's okay. It happens. Here's the thing. We need to do this segment because it's a sponsored segment. But what games do you want to pick? Like, do you want to just do straight NCAA games? I mean, we talked about it. We've kind of done those things. So if you do, I feel like we should choose like a theme.
Houston is the betting favorite.
Right. So
that's weird.
all I feel like if we're gonna do all NCAA games, that's fine.
I think we can do a couple, maybe,
Okay,
but I think
you gonna do some NBA
yeah, I'm gonna look.
or we have. There's one other event that we haven't talked about today. WBC.
The World Baseball Classic.
WBC.
Yeah.
WBC.
We could do that.
So like I can make you pick all the 8-9 games.
All right. Let's see. Are there any good World Baseball Classic games?
Did you know that Klay Thompson's brother,
Trace Thompson, plays for Great Britain.
how's he play for Great Britain?
I have no clue. All right. I got one.
Okay.
Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic.
PR versus DR.
Mm-hmm.
Where we going?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go. I think the Dominican Republic has a better team on paper, so I'm gonna go with the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And then Italy and Japan.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Japan. Those are all of the World Baseball Classic games that I want.
Okay. That's fair.
I think. Yeah. And then we need, what, 3 more games?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Warriors, Suns. And I'm going to go with the Warriors.
And that's at the Suns?
In Golden State.
What, it's in Golden State?
In Golden State.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I'm going to go 76ers and Cavs. And I'm going to go with the Cavs. And then we need one more.
One more.
I don't know.
I don't know is versus who. I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna go Bucks, Kings. And I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
Where is that at?
Sacramento.
You don't think they're gonna light the beam?
Light the beam? No,
Light the beam.
not that night.
What was that noise?
That was my phone.
Oh. Light the beam.
No.
Light the beam.
They're not lighting the beam.
Light the beam. Light the beam. Okay, sweet. Well, listen, at MR DetailWorx, their mission is simple: to provide high quality service in a timely manner. And listen, if you need your car detailed or anything like that, you just go ahead and give Jerry and his team a call, or check out the email at MR DetailWorx, and that's WORX, for all your information or for all your needs in Southern Indiana. With that, what else we got?
I don't know.
I mean, there's a lot we could talk about, but I'm going to go ahead and say, hold up 1 second. There we are. I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably time. We've been recording it's 43 minutes into this thing. So we can do 2 things. I really do feel like, have you been watching any of the World Baseball Classic?
Yeah.
I feel like we owe it to the World Baseball Classic and any of our baseball specific listeners to talk about the World's Baseball Classic. My only comment so far is this. Great Britain's jerseys. It looks. I got a text, and the best text was, "Did they forget to design them?" Because it's literally like in the most generic font that is kind of undersized. Gray, all gray jerseys, just Great Britain in like plain font. Nothing special about the jerseys. Nothing. It was just like you can't even say like going back throwback, but it really felt like old school like video game baseball jerseys. That was my biggest comment. I mean, you could talk about the fact that Venezuela beat Dominican Republic, right?
Yeah.
But go ahead. Just give the rundown for the peeps.
I think that Japan is a scary team. I think Japan and then the Dominican Republic and the U.S. also, just because they are the two best teams on paper, but also Venezuela. And then maybe Puerto Rico. And I think that every other team is just every other team.
Every other team is just every other team.
Mhm.
Okay. That is a very ironic thing, but okay. Every other team is just every other team. All right. So is that it? Do you really want? Okay.
I don't have it.
I mean, it's going on for what, the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks? It's long, isn't it?
It might be. I think I don't know.
Okay. I feel like it's on for a while. All right. So with that, why don't we move to the most anticipated segment of all sports? Where
Royce ranks them.
What are we ranking today?
Today we have the top 5 candidates for Defensive Player of the Year.
In basketball? Okay. NBA. All right. Go for it.
Honorable mention.
Yes.
OG Anunoby.
Really? Is he having a good year?
Defensively.
Okay. Is he still, it's going to sound really bad, is he still in Toronto?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Number 5.
Number 5, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Really? Okay. I'm just kidding. Does he have a Defensive Player of the Year already?
Yeah. Might have to.
Got it. All right. So then number 4.
Number 4, Nick Claxton.
Nick Claxton. Sounds like he played in the '90s for sure.
No.
I would go. He was in the '80s. He would have played for, or '90s, excuse me, probably like Orlando, or definitely the Rockets, somebody like that.
Okay.
But who's he play for now?
The Nets.
The Nets?
Yeah.
Brooklyn Nets.
Yes. The Brooklyn Nets.
Was he acquired in a trade?
No.
All right. So
No, he wasn't. He's just been on the Nets his whole career.
How old is he?
Not that old.
I feel like I've never heard of this guy before in my life.
I feel like you haven't either.
It's so bad. Okay. Is he having a good year defensively? Clearly.
Yeah.
All right. Number 4. So number 4 is Nick Claxton. Everybody. Number 3.
Number 3, Bam Adebayo.
Oh.
You know what team he plays for.
Yeah, he plays for Miami. That makes sense. He's a center.
Yeah.
And he made the All-Star team.
He did.
Did Nick Claxton make the All-Star team?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay. So number 3 is Bam. Number 2.
Brook Lopez.
For real?
Yeah.
Is he with the Cavs?
No. That's Robin Lopez.
Oh, that's Robin. Brook Lopez. Who's he with?
The Bucks.
Oh. Yes. I knew that. I did know that. Really? So the Bucks are just that good defensively, huh?
Yeah.
Is he having a really good year like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, Brook Lopez. Huh. Number 1.
Number 1, Jaren Jackson Jr.
Jaren Jackson Jr. Still don't know where he plays, but I've at least heard of him. Let me think. Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson.
He was an All-Star.
I know. I'm trying to think where he was. Jaren Jackson. Not gonna help me, Jaren Jackson. The other problem is I can't even think what. Like, I think he was on Giannis's team. Team Giannis. but I'm not sure.
He was.
But like that doesn't help me.
It
No,
was like the last 2 picks, and then no. I don't know. He might have been on Team Giannis.
Well, it doesn't help me because I need to know
He
if
was
he's
the
on the East or
last
the
pick.
West.
He's technically he's in the West.
He's in the West.
He's in the West.
The Utah Jazz?
No,
I don't know.
the Memphis Grizzlies.
Minnesota Timberwolves.
The Memphis Grizzlies.
Memphis Grizzlies. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question. And sorry, we'll answer that in a second. I'll answer that in a second. Okay, so all right. OG is 6. Giannis is 5. Nick Claxton is 4. Bam is 3. Brook Lopez is 2. And Jaren Jackson is 1. Okay. I feel like I've learned something today. You're never too old to learn anything. That's been Royce ranks him. I have a question though. Ja Morant. He got suspended for a lot of games.
No.
It was announced that he got suspended for a lot of games, and then they did an investigation. Was that announcement not true?
I don't know if I just think that there's an announcement that if he like had whatever on the team playing, then it would be a automatic 50 game suspension. But I think that they ran an investigation and I guess he didn't have it.
So he only sat sitting out 4 games. Is that what I heard?
He sat out 2, and then he sat out the next 4, and I don't know when he's coming back.
I know he took some time away to get help.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then never mind. I was going to say, because I didn't think I thought I read that where it's like, oh, he's coming back in 4 games. And I'm like, well, wait a second. I thought he got suspended for 50 games. And then they were like, well, the investigation didn't show anything. So I'm like, well, then how do you get suspended in the first place? And, you know.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, where are you good?
Yep.
You got anything for the people?
Today is Daryl Strawberry's birthday.
Today is Daryl Strawberry's birthday. Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
I feel like I should know that.
I don't think that you should have.
Well, I mean, I feel like I should have.
I don't think so.
I mean, I kind of, yeah. All right. Well, with that, until we meet again, we record again.
But, I mean, today is Daryl Strawberry's birthday, but it's also somebody else's birthday.
Who?
You. You know? You know who?
Who?
You know who.
I don't.
Yeah, you do. Cole Hardman.
Is it really?
Yeah, but it's also Dom's birthday.
It is my birthday.
It's his birthday.
I appreciate that.
It is his birthday. It's his birthday.
I am 24 today. 29.
Basically the same thing.
38. Hey, listen, I'll embrace my age. I'll embrace it. 38. 38 trips around the sun. 38 trips.
Yeah.
So, with that, yeah, that's it. So here's what I will say. From a recording schedule standpoint, we didn't talk about the other news. Royce has state swimming this weekend.
Yeah.
Good luck to all the Royce-ifers out there. All the Royce. We need like whatever the fan club is, like, you know, like Beliebers or
We don't need that.
You know, the Navy, Rihanna's Navy. So yours can be like
That's fine.
Whatever. But anyway, so state swim meet. I'm in Birmingham this week for the tournament. So we're just saying we don't know when we're gonna bring you the next episode. It might be Sunday next week. Maybe. I don't think so though. Unless we try to record Wednesday, so we could maybe the Friday games are going on, but it is an off day for me on Friday, but you're swimming.
Yeah.
So, and like we can record on Wednesday, but we just record it.
Yeah.
So it's probably gonna be next week. Just fly out, just be honest. All right. So with that, we out of here. We Appreciate y'all listening.